Hello, citizens of YouTube land.
Hello.
It's your president and your VP, and we're back once again with another episode of I Love This Movie. This time it's Knockout, also known as Born to Fight. Premiered March 5th, 2011, produced for a budget of $1 million. It stars Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yep. Now, if you guys don't know, Stone Cold, he had a run of like R-rated action films before this,
such as The Condemned.
Yeah, very good film, by the way. And this is kind of a little bit of a departure for him because
a big departure, actually.
Yeah, because again, he was in R-rated action films of all things.
And most people will remember him from the Attitude Era as the foul-mouthed, beer-swilling redneck Texas Rattlesnake, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, WWE Hall of Famer.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, nothing more needs to be said for those of you out there who are wrestling fans who know who Stone Cold Steve Austin is.
Yep.
So guys, this is a movie where he plays as a janitor. And there's a young kid named Matthew who is a new student at the high school. And Matthew is this sort of geeky looking kid. He's got glasses. You know how these things are. It's a stereotype in a way. He's a book smart kind of guy. But he has an interest in boxing. His grandpa was a middleweight champion.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin plays as Dan, the janitor, and he tells him pretty much right from the get-go, immediately after Matthew gets bullied by the local bully at the guy's school, you know how this is going to go, okay? So he gets bullied by the bully, and Dan notices that he likes boxing, and he tells him, hey man, you need to check this out. It's, they do boxing, they got a club and everything, competitions. So Dan goes to check it out. But unfortunately, guess who's there? The bully, of course.
If you guys don't know, this story may sound familiar.
Really familiar.
Really familiar.
It's the boxing version of the Karate Kid.
Yeah. We've already covered a Karate Kid-esque movie called Sidekicks, which that one's just over the top. This one isn't as over the top.
No, but Sidekicks was really good too.
Yeah.
It kind of was. It really was.
It really was.
But so Matthew, he goes there. He realizes he can't do it. But Dan's like, hey man, I thought you were going to check it out. And he gets in the ring and he's sparring with him a little bit with the bully, And the bully gets sucker punched basically by Matthew after the bell rings, and the head coach tells him, there's no place for this, you need to get out of the ring. And Dan basically tells the head coach, hey man, your kid's being a bully, you're not doing this right. And so Dan takes him back to nurse his injuries, and that's when Matthew discovers that Dan is indeed a former boxer himself, and then he won a trophy and had some success. So he's like, hey, can you teach me a few things? And he's like, sure, I'll teach you a little bit. So he teaches him how to throw a jab, which is the most important punch in boxing. The jab is the setup for the hook, the uppercut, everything else. Any of you guys out there who know boxing know what I'm talking about right here.
Yeah.
So he says, hey, can you train me? And he goes, well, yeah, kid, I'll train you. But you got to tell your parents about it. Meanwhile, his mom had kind of seen what her dad had went through and didn't want her son to grow up in that environment.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to talk anymore, or am I just going to do this whole thing by myself?
Do you want me to talk?
Yes, I want you to talk.
Okay.
This is part of it.
Okay.
We're on equal footing, even though I'm Prez. It's a made-up title, for crying out loud.
Well, okay. So basically, yeah, his mom, she doesn't want him to live the lifestyle of a boxer because she saw what happened to her dad at one point after one of his boxing matches with a bloody nose and
Probably a concussion.
probably, and she doesn't want him to go through that. And but his stepdad, I think it is Jacob. Yeah,
Mhm.
Jacob. He actually bonds with Matthew over boxing.
Yeah, and basically tells his mom that, hey, he's got to grow up. He's got to become his own man. So, he tells him that, or Dan tells Matthew, we're going to get this thing going, but you got to get your parents' permission. We got to keep this on the up and up. Here's the kicker, though, guys. Matthew, of course, does not tell his parents, and he does not get permission. He forges the signature.
Yeah. Which then he turns into the school, and so then Dan takes him out to a gym.
Mm-hmm. And he starts to get better. He takes his glasses off. His coordination gets better. He starts rising up. He's training. You get the montages. You get the whole shebang.
Yeah. And also there's like this girl that he meets.
Yeah,
well.
it's a sweet relationship.
Yeah.
She
Even
takes-
if Matthew's friend Nick messes it all up.
Yeah. Ask him right in front of her, hey, you kiss her? What? How you gonna do that to your bro? How you gonna do that to your bro, your friend? You don't do that. That's the kind of thing that you pull your buddy aside and be like, yeah, so it's just between you and us now? Hey, you kiss her?
Yeah, that's the kind of thing you would do. That's
You don't
like-
do it right in front of them for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, he had kissed her because they went to the movie theater where she likes to be alone, and she's an incredible artist and does a really good caricature of him. And so things progress. You know how this goes. But there's the heavyweight champion too of the division, and he's kind of the sidekick actually to the middleweight champion. It's weird, I know.
The middleweight champion kind of like runs the school. He's the bully, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, shouldn't the heavyweight champion though run the school because he's the heavyweight champion?
But,
I
so-
don't get it.
Things progress, and he gets Dan's training him, and they're getting ready for this big boxing highlight showcase thing where the coach is going to pick. You'll have to excuse the lawnmower. Our maintenance guys mowing the lawn. So, sorry about that, guys.
Thank you, maintenance.
But it is what it is. If you heard that, just ignore it. If you didn't hear it, it's fine. Anyways, so they are getting ready for this big boxing highlight thing where the coach will pick a couple alternates for the boxing team, and it's a chance to showcase what they can do. But the thing of it is that the principal finds out that it was a forgery, and his mom finds out that it was a forgery, and so Dan gets fired from the school entirely. Because janitors can't train boxers. That's why.
Yep.
Unless they had proper signature, which they did not. Which he did not. So Dan gets fired, and he's on his boathouse, and he tells him, hey kid, you should have done this right. We had a good thing going, basically. And Matthew's like, I'm sorry. And he goes to the fight. And of course, he's matched up with the middleweight bully. And in the first 2 rounds, the bully's just messing him up, right?
Oh yeah, and there's also a round where the first round, he immediately hits him after the bell had rung, and it's like, dude,
Yeah,
the bully did. It's like,
that was a cheap shot. You can't do that, you know.
and it's like he must have gotten a point or two deducted off from the judges in that
and,
round.
and so things are going, and Matthew's grandpa has shown up to watch, and he says his mom asks what he's doing. He goes, somebody's got to go down there and be with that boy. So he gets in his corner and he tells him, hey, you're looking pretty good out there, but you got to cover up more. And he goes, I know, I'm counting. I see his pattern. It's 6 punches. Boom, 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 boom. And step back. That's when I hit him. He goes, yeah, but you got to be more aggressive. And so the 2 rounds pass, and then Dan comes out of the audience because he'd come in. You know how these things go. You saw it. This is the way it goes.
Yeah.
The hero returns at the end.
Yeah.
But it's cool. He comes in and he helps him out. And so in the 3rd round, he takes the champion to the limit. I mean, he's just waylaying.
Yeah, there was like this devastating uppercut he gave him that
he hits him
surely
with
could
this
have.
devastating body shot, and it sends the guy to the ground. Yeah, sends him to the ground. But champion gets up. It continues. It goes the distance. Kid goes the distance. Sounds very familiar, right, guys? Rocky, Karate Kid.
Yep.
You know how it is. It's basically Rocky and Karate Kid combined into one with a teenager. You know the stories. It's great.
Except with the Karate Kid, he did use an illegal kick to win the fight.
Oh, but the heavyweight champion, he was surprised in a KO shot. Boom.
First round KO.
First round. Like 20 seconds in. Knocked out. Down on the ground. Flat cold. He done.
Yep.
So it goes the distance. The middleweight champion, shockingly, not so shockingly if you know Rocky, he wins. Split decision, 2-1. He gets on the microphone. He tells him, yeah, that's right. We going all the way. And then the coach has a bit of a redeeming thing, too, because there's this whole storyline that the coach and Dan were boxing prospects, but the coach was just a little bit better than Dan. Yeah.
No, they were both boxers. Dan lived life too fast, is the way you put it.
Probably got into drugs. You know how those things go.
And
the other guy went
boxing.
the other route and became the coach, and he goes, he's going to ride his coattails to the top. And he tells him, well, that's better than mopping up the spit. So anyways, guys, he has a bit of a redeeming quality, though, because he's a bit of a jerk throughout the whole thing. And he tells him, hey, do the right thing, son. So he tells Matthew that you punched really hard, man, and you fought a good fight. And Matthew tells him, you did the same thing. Coach tells Matthew, hey, we got a spot on this club for Matthew after all, because, well, Hector, that's the name of the kid, by the way, he's going off to college next year. You know, he's graduating, so they're going to need Matthew to come in. It's a feel-good moment, man.
Matthew was a freshman in this, and it was a senior who was bullying him. And it's like, yeah, sounds about right.
So, I mean, critics were pretty harsh to this. They gave it like a 28%, and I, of course, don't agree with that. It's a really good film. It's really well shot. Is the story cliche? Yes. Yes, it is. If you've seen Rocky or you've seen Karate Kid, it's cliche.
Well, I mean, in the Karate Kid, Daniel LaRusso wins with an illegal kick. In this, in this movie, he goes the distance like Rocky did.
Yeah, but they have this whole Karate Kid-esque thing. They even throw in a Karate Kid reference in the movie.
Yeah, that.
So, you know, it's basically Rocky meets Karate Kid here. But it's really well made. It's really well shot. The director did a really good job. Steve Austin, he does his part to the T here as the old, grizzled, broken down boxer turned janitor. You believe it. You believe that this is this character.
Yeah, and I feel like that there would be nobody else who could do this other than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's true. I kind of felt that way too. So, final rating for this one, guys. I give it a 4.5 out of 5. What say you?
A 4 3/4 out of 5.
So that gives it a total score of 4 2/3 out of 5 for both of us. I know I'm good at math. I don't need any praise for it. But you can find it on Tubi. That's where we found it at. It's available on DVD. I used to have it on DVD as well. I remember it from back then. If you haven't checked it out, I suggest you check it out. But hey, as always, if you think that Knockout is the worst film of all time, and these two idiots don't know what they're talking about. Well, that's just on you.
You're probably right about we're the two idiots that don't know what we're talking about, but
Hey, just remember, we're just two idiots with a cell phone camera. Our opinions do not matter, except they actually do, because we have a YouTube show, except they actually don't. So, having said all that, we'll see you guys next time, where it's going to be
ours.
Look forward to that one. It's going to be a good one as well. Continuing our string of Paul Walker movies. So we'll see you guys next time. But until then, remember, peace and love from Denny and Son. Bye.